it's Miss Rogers. So this is Unit 6, Week 3. This is the Part 2 video. And we've been talking about our essential question is, how can weather affect us? That is what we read. Wrapped in Ice was the last story that we read together. We've also been talking about how to visualize. When you visualize, you close your eyes and you can form a picture in your brain of what something might look like in your brain. Like if you were thinking about being wrapped in ice and you're right outside your window, you could see everything covered with ice. You can visualize that in your brain. Also, we've talked about cause and effect. We've talked about cause and effect in the past in class. So this is kind of a review, but we're going to look at cause and effect with our next story that we're going to read today. And then we've been talking about our ghost letters, W-R, K-N, and G-N. Okay, and those sounds we make. W-R just says R, that W is silent. Then we have K-N, that is just the K is silent in there. And then you have G-N, and G-N is just the sound, that G is silent. And also you have your spelling words too. I just have them up here for you. We have gnat, new, no, knife, bin, right, wrong. Then you have cause and dawn, which are review from last week's lesson. And then you have their, T-H-E-I-R. That kind of shows like ownership, like it is their house, okay? Now, before we get started, we're going to review our high frequency words and our vocabulary. Our high frequency words are bin. I've been to the store, bin. We have children, children. Month. Then we have question. Then we have there. Then we have year. Okay, those are the high frequency words, and you're going to see those probably highlighted in the story that we read. They were also highlighted in the last story we read, Wrapped in Ice, and they're going to be in the story that we read today together. Now, let's look at some of our vocabulary words, okay? This word is cycle. Cycle. If something goes in a cycle, it's a series of events that just repeat in the same order. Okay? It doesn't change order. It's in the same order, just like the life cycle of a butterfly stays the same. Then we have predict. We've used this word a lot in class. The word predict means that you are using clues that you already know in order to make a guess about the future. Right? The next word is creative. Creative. If you're being creative, that means that you're using your imagination to make something new or different. Hopefully during this time, you're being creative. Our next word is frigid. If something is frigid, it is very, very cold. It's not just a little bit cold. It is very, very, very cold. And we have scorching. Scorching. If something is scorching, it is very, very, very hot. Not just a little warm, but hot. It's very, very, very hot. It's scorching. Then we have country. Country is just where a group of people live. Like we live in the country of the United States. And then we have gathers, okay? That means that you bring or come together in one place. You may gather your things and come put them in one place, okay? Those are our vocabulary and our high frequency words for this week. Now, I want to take a quick moment to look at some more of our ghost letter words, okay? Our ghost letter words, I'm going to bring you down here and let you take a look. I have some more ghost letter words here, and I want you to take a look at them because, and we'll look at that one in a second because I need to borrow it. Let's look at our first one. This is me. Bring it down just a little bit so you can see. So we have our KN that says Then we have E, knee. Okay? So let's look at our next word. This word is wrap. Like you wrap a gift. It has our WR that says app. Wrap. WRAP. Okay? Now, I want to show you another word with our GN. You may or may not have seen this one before. But this one is the word gnaw. Gnaw. If you gnaw on something, your dog may gnaw on a bone. Gnaw. So you have aw, gnaw. And this also goes back with our AW from last week, like in dawn, that says aw. Okay? I just wanted to give you a quick recap of those letters. And let me put you guys back up here so you can see me. There we go. So just know that WR says R, KN says and then GN says And remember, there's really no rule to kind of help us decipher when to spell with those. But just know that you can practice looking for those words, write them down. You can make like a little log. You can make like a little sheet like this that I have. And you can write them down and practice looking at them, writing them, and spelling them. And that'll help you when you come across those in your books, okay? Now, let's take a look at what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to be looking at cause and effect. And as you can see back here, I have kind of like a little chart back here, a little graphic organizer that I drew. But this story that we're going to read has lots of cause and effect. But we're going to do the cause and effect at the end of the story together on my board. And then I'll take a picture of it and attach it to the end of this video. So you can look at it if you want to copy it down, if you want to rewatch the video and look for some more cause and effect, you can do that as well. But this story is, I think you're really going to like this one. I like this story a lot. And it has lots of cause and effect. And so I'm going to be talking about a lot of the cause and effect that's going on in this story as we go. Because there's so many, it would fill my whole board up with how many cause and effect situations are in here. But we are going to talk about them together as I read. And this story is called Rain School. Rain School. And remember, our essential question is, how can weather affect us? And we're going to read about why a school has to rebuild every year. So I think you're really going to like this story. This is a really good one, okay? In the country of Chad, it is the first day of school. The dry dirt road is filling up with children. Big brothers and big sisters are leading the way. Will they give us a notebook? Thomas asked. Will they give us a pencil? Will I learn to read like you? Stop asking so many questions and keep up, says the big brothers and big sisters. So this little boy is having lots of questions. He wants to know what school is like. And so his big brothers and sisters are just telling him to hurry up. But he's asking lots of questions because he wants to know what school is about. Thomas arrives at the schoolyard, but there are no classrooms. There are no desks. It doesn't matter. There is a teacher. We will build our school, she says. This is the first lesson. Take a look at that. So let's think about this for a minute. So the cause is it is the first day of school for them, but the effect of that is that they have to do what? So what did the teacher just say? She says, we will build our school. She says, this is the first lesson. So the cause would be, it's the first day of school, and the effect of that is that the children their first lesson is to build the school. They don't have one, so they have to build it. That is their first lesson. Think about that and make a connection with you. What if you came to my classroom first day and there's no classroom and I told you we had to build it? That would be pretty crazy, right? So let's read on and see if we can find some more cause and effect. Thomas learns to make mud bricks and dry them in the sun. Let's just take a look at what they're doing. So if you notice that in here, there are some details in here. It's saying that Thomas has learned to make mud bricks, and he's learned that to make them, he has to put them in the sun. You can make bricks out of mud, and so they took the mud, put it in a brick form, and then put it in the sun to dry to help make the bricks. He learns to build mud walls and mud desk. Take a look at that picture for a moment. Everyone is helping building that. So now we can know the cause. Thomas helps build the school, okay? Thomas helps build the school, that's the cause. Now the effect of that is that he learns to make the bricks, walls, and desks from mud. It's pretty neat, right? He gathers grass and saplings with other children, and they make a roof. Saplings are just like small little trees. They're not very big trees. Take a look at that. Inside, it is cool. It smells of the earth. It smells of the fields ready for planting. Thomas helps bring in little wooden stools. Everyone sits down. This is a moment they have been waiting for. So what do you think they've been waiting for? It says this is the moment they've been waiting for. Think about that and see if you can make a prediction in your brain of what you think that they've been waiting for. The teacher brings in a blackboard. On it, she writes a letter. A, says the teacher. A, says Thomas with the other children. The teacher writes the letter with big strokes in the air. The students do the same over and over. Wonderful, says the teacher. We do this at our school too. We practice writing our letters. So the cause of that would be that the children are writing their letters in the air, and the effect of that would be that they learn their letters. They're excited about their learning. They want to learn their letters. She hands out notebooks and pencils. Page 1, says the teacher. Thomas opens his notebook to the first page and holds his pencil ready and waiting. Now write the letter A. Beautiful, says the teacher as she looks at the student's work. Every day, Thomas learns something new. Every day, the teacher cheers him and the other children on. Excellent job, she says. Perfect. my learning friends. So they're learning just like you do in school. The 9 months of the school year fly by. The last day has come. The students' minds are fat with knowledge. Their notebooks are rumpled from learning. Thomas and the other children call out, "Thank you, teacher." She smiles and says, "Well done, my hardworking friends. See you next year." Thomas and the other children race home. The school is empty, and just in time. The big rains have started. The drops come down hard and fast. Strong winds tear at the grass roof. The rain finds its way inside. The school's mud walls are soaked and starting to slump. The mud does too. What do you think is going to happen to the school? All that rain? Let's see. Slowly the school disappears until there's almost nothing left. It doesn't matter. The letters have been learned and the knowledge taken away by the children. So the cause would be that it's raining heavy. There's a lot of heavy rain. That's the cause. And what's the effect of that? The mud walls get soaked and the school begins to fall down. The rain tears the school down and then it disappears. That would be the effect of all the heavy rain. Come September, school will start over. Thomas will be a big brother then, leading the children on their first day to school. They will all stand in front of their smiling teachers, ready to build their school again. Wasn't that a great story? So let's look at our cause and effect that's happened at the end of the story. We can kind of do this together, okay? And I want you to look here. I've made a little graphic organizer, and if you want to copy it down, you can. I'm also going to post a picture of it at the end, so if you want to copy it down too, you can. But let's talk about just a couple of cause and effects that were in the story. And the first one that I want to point out is the rain and the wind tear down the school. That's one of the causes. Rain and wind tear down the school. Now, the effect of that would be what happens if the rain and the wind, they tear down the school. Let's turn back in our page and let's look. Here's a picture of the rain and the wind getting the school. And then if we look at the next page, the very top line says, slowly the school disappears until there is almost nothing left. So the effect of the rain and wind tearing down the school would be the school disappears. So you write the school disappears. Wouldn't that be so sad if your school disappeared? So the school disappears. Another cause and effect that we saw at the end of this story, cause would be school starts again in September. It's a cause. We'll put school starts in September. September. Okay, school starts in September. The effect of that would be, what do they have to do on their first day? Right here at the last sentence, it says they will all stand in front of their smiling teacher, ready to build their school again. So the effect of that, school starting, means that the children have to build their school. Have to build their school. And that is just a little bit about cause and effect. Because for every cause, there is a way that it affects us. And in this story, you can talk about with your parents, you can draw a picture and write, how can weather affect us? How did the weather affect the children and the teacher in Chad? And you can, like I said, you can draw a picture, share it with your family, and let them know what you've learned about this story. I hope you enjoyed that story. I really enjoyed that one. That was very interesting to know that they have to come every time school starts and they have to build their own school. That has to be lots of hard work, right? Now, before we go, I want to read another story with you. This is a nonfiction story about how rainy weather can affect people in different places. We talked about in Chad how the rain affects them, or they have to build their school every year. So that's one way it can affect you. But we're going to read how it can affect others around us too. This is called rainy weather. And we're going to look at this. It says, read about how rain affects some people and places, okay? Rainy weather. This is a nonfiction text, so you're going to see real pictures of things. Our other story was a realistic fiction, and it's something that could happen in real life. Let's read about our rainy weather. Weather changes from day to day. Some days are sunny and some days are rainy. When it rains, do you wish the rain would go away? You might, but we need rain. And right here, remember in our nonfiction text, we have headings too to give us more details about what we're going to read. This is how rain helps. All living things need water. Rain helps plants grow so that people and animals have food. Rain falls on the ponds, lakes, and rivers. Then animals can drink water all year long. People need water to drink too. We also use it for cooking and cleaning. So this is telling me that we need rain. Rain is important to us. Stormy weather. We need rain, but rain can mean storms, and storms can mean problems. In a thunderstorm, thunder crashes. Lightning flashes. Lightning can strike trees or buildings. A hurricane is a bigger storm. Heavy rains can cause a lot of damage. Winds can blow so hard that trees bend and break. There may be a flood. When it's over, people help each other clean it up. So sometimes we do have storms, and storms can have lightning and thunder. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're all bad, but they can provide wind, like hurricanes or stronger storms, and they can bring lots of heavy rain and wind. Ready and safe. Weather people can predict if a storm is on the way. Then we can stay safe. In a thunderstorm or hurricane, the best place to be is inside. People may buy extra food, drinking water, and flashlights. Then they do not have to go outside. Soon the sun will be out, and then there will come another rainy day. If you look here, you may have seen that if you've watched the weather, maybe with your family. This is kind of like a picture of a radar, but it says right here, the red and yellow on the map show a storm. Now, down here it says, let's make a connection. How did the rain affect people in rain school? I want you to think about that. And like I said before, think about this, what we just learned about rain, and see if you can make a connection of how did the rain affect those people there, because it did. It affected them every year. You can draw pictures, you can rewatch this video, and share it with your family and friends and what you've learned. And you can also look for those ghost letter words like WRKN and GN in the stories. Thanks so much for joining me. See you later. Bye.